First of all, if I was a Russian thinking about joining the war against Ukraine, I'm not sure the first place I would go to would be Wagner right now, although they're offering more money, I imagine, than the Russian armed forces, because the attrition rate is absolutely colossal. With 30,000 men killed over the last few months. That's about 60% of Wagner's total, I think. So it gives you an idea of their losses. But yeah, Wagner has been talking up the possibility of a counteroffensive, and probably for its own gain, because it wants to get the ammunition that it's been demanding, wants to get the weaponry it's been demanding for the last few weeks. Certainly, there is a case to be made that Ukraine is about to launch a counteroffensive sometime over the next couple of months. But where it's going to take place, nobody knows at the moment, because the Ukrainians are making a point of keeping the Russians guessing on that. So it could be Bakhmut, but there's no reason to suspect that it's more likely to be Bakhmut than anywhere else. In fact, I think most people, if they were going to put a bet on it, would probably suggest to the south around Zaporizhia, where they could move towards the city of Melitopol and cut Crimea off from the rest of the Russian forces. That seems to be the most likely one. But you can see what Prigozhin is trying to do here. He's trying to say, look, first of all, we're the ones who are doing the heaviest fighting. If there is a breakthrough against us, then it's not just us that's in trouble. The whole of the Russian operation in Ukraine is in trouble. So you better send us some more of those weapons we've been demanding.
Yeah, and now we're also hearing that Russians have been saying they've been making progress, substantial gains. Any substance to that?
Well, they're certainly making progress, but it's so incremental and at such enormous cost that you do have to wonder what on earth is the point about it. From a Ukrainian perspective, the Ukrainians are also taking heavy losses, and there's been a discussion at the top levels of the military and politics in Ukraine about whether it is worth continuing to fight for Bakhmut, which is a relatively small town with no particular strategic importance, other than it would mark a significant symbolic victory for Russia if it were to take it, whether it's worth Ukrainians staying on there. And at the moment, they seem to have taken the decision that, yes, it is worth it because of the attrition of Russian forces, at anything between 5 and 7 to 1 in favor of the Ukrainians. But, there has been progress, but the Russians seem to have run up against a barrier in the Bakhmutka River, which cuts off the eastern third of the city. The Wagner group seems to have occupied that now, but crossing the Bakhmutka River is going to be enormously difficult. British intelligence is referring to it as being a killing field because the Ukrainians are in buildings across the other side of the river and have a clean firing target against the Russians trying to cross. Very, very difficult for the Russians who are already taking heavy losses. The concern for the Ukrainians will be that Wagner may be able to outflank them from the north and the south, and that's what they're watching really carefully at the moment. If they were to suspect that was about to happen, I think they would withdraw.
All right, Rob.